Hey guys, welcome back to another video on Gran Turismo. Today we are racing on Daily Race C. It's Monday today, so we've got the fresh races in, and Daily Race C today is at Nürburgring, the sprint circuit, which is the shorter format with the GR3 cars and soft tyres with 15 laps. So there is no mandatory pit stop, so you can just decide yourself whether or not you want to go all the way or if you want to stop for fresh tyres, so that at the end your tyres aren't completely finished, which they will be. I can guarantee that. Most of the cars really struggle on their tyres. You can see here it gets a little bit messy, but I've managed to work my way through to P5 here, albeit with a little bit of contact. Now heading into this corner, trying to keep it clean, but I get a tap there on my right, and the one and only Kev makes his way through with no apology. But yeah, back to the strategy. You've got two different options: either soft all the way or stop sort of midway through the race to keep up your lap time. So it's up to you and how comfortable you are driving. Personally, I opted for the no stop because I felt like I could still maintain reasonable speed towards the end of the race. But again, it's just completely up to you. Fuel isn't an issue in this race, so you can race flat out. But something I wanted to touch on was, oh, you can see that I just get the penalty on that last corner, a little bit silly by me. But what I wanted to discuss was actually the quality of racing and the cleanliness of the racing as you progress through the ranks. So I thought that as you progress through, the quality would be better, but I've been a little bit mistaken, because what I found in recent races is that I'm getting quite a few malicious bumps and knocks from other drivers, which really puts you off, and then they overtake you, and there's no remorse or regret demonstrated, which is incredibly frustrating. You can see here I'm just trying to turn into this corner here, and Alex just stuck his nose into that corner. You can see here that he puts on his hazards to apologise, but doesn't really let me pass, and in fact just sort of holds me up. We go into the first corner here, the tight hairpin, try and turn in, but he just completely parks it, and again he's just slowing me up. So yeah, it is frustrating on GT7. I wonder if anyone else has a similar experience, because again, it's not overtly or completely dirty driving, but it's just a little bit malicious, and I feel like if you just accept it and you don't do anything about it, then these people will just sort of continue. You can see here again another massive lunge down the inside, which failed, but it did demonstrate what I should be expecting. So that was from Max Power, so keep an eye on him, because he does feature a little bit later on. But yeah, it's just been a bit of a frustrating start to the race, sort of going backwards. I wouldn't say sort of fault of my own, but it's something just to be mindful of. And again here, turn one, another knock on the inside, which just put me off a little bit, and Max just goes through the inside, and not only that, again just gives me one to push me off just to complete the job. So I was getting a bit frustrated at this point, because that's 3 overtakes now which haven't been very clean, and I'm down in P8. So annoying, but at this moment in the race I knew anything could happen, so I'm just going to keep my head down, keep racing. But I didn't want to let Max get away with this, because that was overtly not very nice. You can see here a replay, just completely lunges it up the inside, knocks into me, and switches back to the inside here. Could have held a tighter line, but just completely decides to run me out wide. And it's just driving like this, which is just a bit annoying. So I had my eye on him. I wanted to see how he fares in the rest of the race. and I definitely wanted to keep up with him. My main aim now was just keeping up with him. He's in a similar car, and I wanted to try and overtake him for the rest of the race. So it's getting a bit busy here. Different strategies, as you can see. Alex comes into the pits. Sorry, not Alex. Kev comes into the pits, so that clears a little bit of space. And also Sean M comes into the pits. So quite a few people opting for one stop with fresher tyres to head towards the end of the race. And my lap times are fairly consistent. It's 1:27 or 1:26, a few of them. But I think if you're in that sort of bracket, you should be okay. Ideally, if you can set 1:26s more consistently, that would be better. But remember, it's going to have a significant effect on your tyres. Particularly the left front and left rear tyres will really be affected on this circuit, which is clockwise. So I personally have the brake bias towards the rear so that it doesn't wear the front left too much, because in the way I drive, for some reason, it really affects the front left. So it also depends on how you drive. But yeah, just remember, if your front tyres are wearing more, you want to send it towards the back, the rear. If your rear tyres are wearing more, then send the brake bias more towards the front, and that should hopefully even it out a little bit. So we're in P8 here. Or sorry, we're in P6 rather, P6. So we can see Alex now comes into the pits, which just leaves me and Max. So like I said, my main aim is just to try and keep up with Max and try and do the best that I can. I know people are going to start coming up behind us, so we're just going to keep it focused. So I'm going to stop narrating here. I'm going to let you guys watch to the end of the race, and I'll interject at the end. there we have it. So guys, I managed to hold on to P5 after that crazy finish, and I'm just going to replay a few moments in the last bit of the race. So lap 14, we're on board with Max, and you can see I come down the inside relatively cleanly, no contact, but I overshoot it a little bit, and he just sort of drifts across to give me a bit of a nudge again. And at that moment I was very unhappy with that, and then towards the end of lap 14 I get a tap on the rear left, and I thought, okay, maybe it was just a bit of an accident. But when I watched the replays, I think it was intentional, just to use me as a bit of a cushion to make way around the corner. Very annoying. So when it came to the end of the race, to be honest, I'm not gonna lie, I left my car there on the outside to give Max a bit of a problem, because sometimes you get what you deserve. I mean, if you drive like that all the time, what do you expect? In the end, in the chat, you put question marks towards me. But in my head I'm thinking, surely you're not that sort of disillusioned, or do you have a complete lack of self-awareness to know that what you've been doing the whole race? Completely baffled me. Anyway, bit of a crazy race, not one that I won or anything. Like I said, I just thought it was quite chaotic and eventful. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Drop any comments that you have below, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.